Hey
Okay,
everyone.
hey, we are live. What's up, everyone? Super excited for this month Linea Developer Community Call. Are you excited, Gwen?
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's always super nice to be with the community, speaking about like a roadmap update, like seeing what builders build last time at the Linea Dev Cook-Off. And so we'll also have an update from our incubator. So very excited and looking forward to it.
Nice. Yeah, we have a lot of things to cover, and as always, like I think those calls coming at the end of the month, they're bringing a lot of like different updates from like product specific updates around Linea, ecosystem updates. We're bringing a lot of like hackathon winners and highlights from our great community, and most important, all focused around builders. So I think a lot of people are learning. A lot of people can engage, can comment in the chat. I see a bunch of people already kind of like. Writing down question in the chat. So if we see something interesting and relevant, feel free to ask those questions while our speaker are presenting. And apart that, I would say everybody enjoy and let's get it started. So what are we speaking about today? So we're doing a quick intros. Then we have our special guest Arthur doing a quick linear roadmap updates, also like defining new product specific like feature updates. And he's actually quite excited. We can also like ask him different questions. And if you guys have any question, free always to ask in the chat. Then we actually like bring a strong hackathon winner from the previous Linea Dev Cook-Off. Is a team called Linea Bricks team. Love the title. And Arsha and the team will be presenting. And then we will have Irina. And for the people that doesn't know it, Tachyon is a great kind of accelerator program. I let her like actually like present a little bit what it's all about, but we will actually presenting a accelerator program TachyonX for specific for linear builders. And I think that's it, right? It's super exciting. Then we are finishing up with a couple of like recap. Excited. When are you excited? Which part are you looking forward the most?
I'm always looking forward to see like so the roadmaps. I already know pretty well what we will be doing, right? But it's always, I think for the community, it's always a very good touch point to know like what we will be releasing in terms of like technical side, also community side, and for Linea Dev Cook-Off, I'm already very excited to see what builders did. It's some projects I already saw in the past, right? But the
Oh
most
yes.
interesting part for me, I think, it's the accelerator because I think like for DevRel, if you have a good accelerator in the background, it helps you a lot to build your ecosystem and your developer community because you can help project a lot more, right? So I'm very excited
Agree.
to speak about it.
Yes, that's actually super exciting. Sounds good. And by the way, I think we never introduced ourselves. Gwen, you want to quickly introduce yourself for the people who
Yeah,
doesn't know you?
yeah. So Gwen, I think I joined like it's been already quite a few months, right? So like maybe 4 5 months
Time flies,
ago,
yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
officially. But a bunch of people you saw me like in Bangkok, like a bunch of people. If you're a dev and you already did a conference in the last few years or hackathon, you probably saw me there. So. I'm developer relations, so for Consensus, like I'm focusing right now a lot on Linea. And so, yeah, I'm working with Francesco, Amarachi, and all the dev team here at Consensus to cook nice things for you guys. So very happy to
Yes.
work there and to be there speaking with the community and all the builders. So I think Denver, yeah, like was a few weeks ago, and it was very nice. It was about a month ago actually, and it was very nice.
Oh
Next
yeah.
stop will be Taipei. So probably we'll see
Oh,
each
that's
other in
exciting.
Taipei in 2 weeks. So yeah, and
Yes,
Francesco,
yes. We maybe run some kind of like user space.
yeah, and Francesco, I think everyone knows you already, but like introduce yourself as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm Francesco. I'm also like developer relation. I'm super excited actually to be around and advocate for builders around the space. And yeah, it's great. I mean, Gwen, you're actually like really around doing panels and talks. I'm also like enjoying kind of like advocating for developers and builders in the space and really like running cool activation. And that's a little bit it, right? So let's get it started. And I think there is a big team also behind the scene helping organizing. So big shout out to you guys. They're actually like helping this making happen because the linear developer community call is not just a community call. We're really bringing a lot of content together in less than 1 hour, and this is like a huge kind of like sourcing for high caliber speakers, product specific like updates. So there is a lot of things happening. And by the way, Akil, I'm already like sometimes I'm just bringing some comments around. Are we both like, yes, we will be around. Definitely, like we'll be supporting developers on the hackathon. We have also the Linea Developer Cook-Off that we're bringing on. That we'll talk a little bit later again. But let's get it started. So speaking about why we're doing this, right? This is not just a product specific like update. This is not just for sharing anything. The goal is to provide a platform to actually have the community show what they're building, showing what actually Linea has been shipping lately, a lot of different things, and showing with a monthly cadence. And I think like the fact that is always happening at the end of the month, every month, the fact that it's kind of like bringing a lot of hackathon winners and ecosystem partners on those calls is bringing a lot of exposure, but it's also making people learning a lot what's happening around the ecosystem, because sometimes we're not always IRL at hackathon or ecosystem events. Why you like those calls, Gwen? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think it's the same. It's the same vibe as like the show, like doing something presentation over like just like like just you have a draft, you have something, but you don't know. You have a demo, but you don't know if it works, right? It's like same mind of like is global, right? That's the spirit of is global. Is like showing stuff. And I always love when you have builders and builders like show stuff to you and you can chat with them and you can interact. I already see some familiar faces in the chat. I saw Bilgut sent a message. Hi, Bilgut. I can see like some people I'm interacting with on Twitter as well. So it's always very nice. That's what I love the most, right? It's interaction with people. That's why I'm doing so many conferences as well. So yeah, hi, nice to see you there.
Yeah, I think a lot around there, and this is kind of very complementary to both the virtual hackathon we're running, both the IRL events. It's always a great opportunity to catch up what is kind of like being cooked around the team, but also like what's happening around the ecosystem partners and who is building cool stuff around Linea, right? Because we really want to be and showcase what is happening, but really hands-on, right? You will see today a technical demo. You're so going through like a team that is going through like what they're building, and I think that's the most important, giving exposure to the community from the community, and in the meantime also like showcasing and highlighting what Linea has been shipping. So I think we're good. Without further ado, I would say let's start bringing Arthur on stage. So this is a big pleasure, because I think like with Arthur, the last community call happened. I think like
Hello, guys.
what was that? We spoke about was that the Sibyl attacks or something like that, like a couple of like months ago, and it was an exciting talk. So I'm definitely looking forward to understanding how is the roadmap. Everything is like what we're being cooking around, and giving an update to everyone also talking. And always, as always, feel free to chat. But let's do it. Arthur, you want to quickly introduce yourself? It's an honor to have you here.
Yeah. Hello, guys. Nice to see everyone. So I'm Arthur. I'm a product manager at Linea. So been in the team for pretty much the start of Linea. So like beginning of 2023, we didn't have any public testnet at the time. And yeah, so exciting to discuss a bit
The Linea OG.
Yeah. So yeah, super exciting to discuss the Linea product roadmap. So basically, it's what are our plans to improve the core protocol of Linea going forward. So yeah, let's jump into it. Maybe on the next slide, we can see the general roadmap and having an overview. What I want to stress here is that we are thinking of the roadmap with three main buckets. The first one on the left is the user experience. So basically, it's what we are doing to make the experience of end user, just like you, like me, better that when they are transacting on the chain. Then there is the developer experience for people that are building dApps on Linea or apps, wallets, and so on, like to make their experience building better. And then the community experience. So the community is all the other parties, so the governance, later on, node runner as well, and the overall alignment with the Ethereum ecosystem. So what I want to do today is zoom on the 2025 roadmap. So the two first bucket and highlight like the most exciting things that we will be shipping this year. So on the next slide, if we look at Q2, yeah, exactly. So if we look at Q2, so in the next 3 months, there is like 6 things that I'm super excited about. The first thing is you will be able to pay gas with your ERC20. So this means that basically you don't need to hold ETH on the chain anymore. If you do an unwrap of USDC or just bring USDC, for instance, because you want to use the MetaMask card, you don't have to bridge ETH as well. You don't have to do a swap. Everything will works out of the box. So that's super cool. This will be available through MetaMask. And under the hood, it uses a new RPC endpoint that we build, which is Linea Send Bundle. And to go just a bit in the technical details, this is a RPC endpoint that lets you send multiple transactions in sequence, and we guarantee that they will be executed in this order and that all the execution will be successful, or else like no transaction are executed. And so for the payment with gas, how it works is basically there is a first transaction which send a small amount of ETH to the wallet before the main transaction, and then the wallet repays in the ERC20. So that's super interesting. And the second point also use Linea Send Bundle, which has been created to not broadcast all the transaction to the public mempool, but instead keep them private. And that's super important when you are dealing with DeFi, because it avoids all the problem with MEV, people trying to front run your transaction and basically make you pay more than you should have. So super exciting as well. On the third point, we have faster finality. So finality is basically when we post the L2 blocks of Linea on L1 and we verify them with our zero knowledge proof. At the moment, we have a 6-hour finalization delay, which was basically our training wheel for security, because we wanted to have some buffer to make sure everything was right and we had time to react in case of emergency. It's no longer needed since the system is much more mature, and so we will completely get rid of that, which means the bridging time from Linea to Ethereum will be faster. And so yeah. Next, the increased throughput. So basically, throughput is make sure that it's the maximum capacity that you have on the chain, and it makes sure that even though there is a lot of activity, like your gas price remain low, we already increased the maximum throughput to 27.5 megagas per second recently, and we plan to increase it even more. That's especially thanks to what we call the limitless prover, which will remove a lot of limitation we have around the zero knowledge proof at the moment. And basically, it will enable the sequencer to process transaction on Linea 10 times faster. So from a technical perspective, that's a very, very big improvement and super exciting. The two last things, so improve security. It's two things. We will have the 100% coverage within the zero knowledge proof, which is super important to make sure that there is no way to cheat on the chain. And the second part is the state reconstruction, which is a requirement for the L2-bit stages security. And basically, it's a piece of software that enables anyone to trustlessly recover and also audit the Linea blocks based on the data posted on L1. So keep trying to lead on the security front. And the last thing that we will be doing in the last 3 months is to prepare for decentralization, right? And also EVM upgrade. And a key part of this is switching to a new consensus mechanism, which is QBFT. And that will lead also to the Prague update. So that
Arthur, And I want to mention this is great, especially on the point one. I'm just highlighting some comments here, like especially on gas fee, paying gas fee. We are Z20, and this is from Akil. And I think onboarding people in Web3, we definitely need that, and it's definitely something that I think working on that is super important. And sounds good. Sounds good. It's I also like preparing for decentralization. I think is something that people were really highlighting here.
Yeah, and don't hesitate to share your feedbacks on like the forum on Twitter if you have like other ideas, or you like the roadmap, or you plan to take advantage of all these updates. We are super happy to hear about it. That's great feedback. So moving on to the next slide, looking a bit further into the year, that's our plan for the second half. And there is 6 things I want to highlight. So first, we will get faster confirmation. So the plan is to reduce block time to 1 second for basically a snappier user experience. This is only the beginning, and our end goal is to approach, Web 2 level of responsiveness, where basically when you click the button, you almost have the confirmation right away. So that's the first part. We also plan to continue to increase the throughput. Our target is 500 million gas per second. So that's approximately 20 times what we have at the moment, and 23,000 ETH transfer per second to do rough ballpark estimates. We also have a plan to increase the prover performance, especially switching to like cryptography small fields, and this will enable us to generate the zero knowledge proof 4 times faster. So at the moment it's 12 minutes, and we will move that to 3 minutes. And the end benefit of that is that it will enable to have faster finality, and also an important point is reduced cost, because the prover is running on very, very powerful machine on like cloud providers. And so having those optimization will reduce the cost, and then can also lead to smaller gas fees. We will release the compatibility with the latest EVM version. So of course Prague, but also catching up to all the EVM versions since London. And like the notable feature that we will have here is the infamous EIP 7702, which will bring basically smart account capabilities to the regular EOA accounts. So super exciting. You will have transaction batching out of the box, gas sponsoring, and much more of that. We also plan to reach stage 2 according to the L2-bit security or maturity framework. There is multiple aspects to it. The first one is the escape hatch. So basically, it's the ability for anyone to force the sequencer, which at the moment is centralized and run by Linea, to include a transaction. And that makes sure that we can, at any point, withdraw your phone, even though like the sequencer decide to censor you for some reason, or is just like completely down because the chain is not working. So it's super important from a security point of view to have always full control on your phone. The other part is that we will increase the delay of routine upgrades to a 30-day time lock. That means we cannot just do an upgrade and change anything. User will have ample time to review the update, have the community make sure there is no problem to it, except in case of a very specific provable bug on chain, where basically us, Linea, running the proof, need to submit a proof that there is an issue at the moment with the lineage chain, and it's just in case of emergency that we will be able to upgrade the contract to restore the chain. And the last feature, which is also super exciting from a user point of view, is native yield. So this means that basically if deposited on the L2 bridge, we'll be able to generate yield through staking, DeFi integration. So we are looking at like, natively 3-4% of yield just to hold ETH on the chain. It's a feature that is developed by Status that choose to use the Linea stack to create their own chain. We are not planning at the moment to activate it on Linea, but that will be a capability supported by the protocol. And we are also happy to hear from you your feedback, whether or not you think it's a good idea for the Linea chain. Yeah, that's it for my presentation and the few highlights I wanted to give. Happy to take
Sounds good.
any
Sounds good.
questions.
I mean, yeah, I mean there are a bunch of questions, but Arthur, I know you only have this kind of 10-15 minutes. What is the most exciting things that you think is happening right now around the builders for the roadmap? Any kind of like personal preference around kind of like this feature updates?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm like very big fan of like 7702 EIP, like
Yeah.
really improving the UX. But I think like everything is important if we want to reach like the level of UX that anyone can use the chain, even your parents, your grandparents, without knowing basically they are interacting with a blockchain. Like the maximum throughput is super important, like faster confirmation. All of that is coming like together very nicely to improve like the way people interact and also build on blockchains. And this will also like open up new use cases, right? That at the moment are not necessarily possible.
100%. Yeah, I see some comments also on RWA. There is a lot of article, RWA is going to be an EVM chain, period. There is a lot of like interesting things that we can highlight here. And I think that's one part, and probably like the most highlighted also like comments is definitely like the fact that you can pay gas fee with any token. I think like this bring a lot of like usability, and I mean that there's a lot of things that the team is cooking right now, and it's great also to hear kind of like also your highlights. And yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything also to say, Gwen, on kind of the roadmap? Anything that you're excited about? Anything that you see more the community also like asking for?
Yeah, I would say like the ability to pay in any tokens, it's very nice, right? Because it's something we were speaking about. It's been a long time we're speaking about like being able to pay, having a paymaster or like pay in any token, any currency, right? Like 7702, I think it would be very nice. I would be very interested to see like the adoption side, right? Because we have 4337 before, which was like a huge thing. I think it was 2023 around April. It was launched, and it was like a huge thing, and everyone was speaking about it. And so we see like it's been 2 years now, and the adoption is here, but not that much, right? So I'm very looking forward to see where 7702 will go. But for sure, like with the MetaMask integration for the payment and everything, it will be very nice. I'm already working on Linea's like the send bundle functionality, right? Because I think it's very interesting for builders, also for MEG researcher. There is a lot of application, so very interesting by the roadmap, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Nice. That sounds good. And Arthur, like if people want to have like proposals, I know we have the community forum. Where is kind of like the go-to that you would suggest to get kind of like the updated roadmap of like feature highlights that you will say?
So I think so to post feedback, we posted a written version of this roadmap like a few months ago on the forum, and basically don't hesitate to react there, like add your comments, suggestions. We are reading them all, so like very happy to hear your feedback. That's the best place.
Sounds good. Yes. Yeah, we see a lot of people also like interested. They're pushing also like proposal on the forum. Obviously, like Discord. Also like those venue definitely for comments are great. And I think even the mirror like blog was specific on that. And we just posted. Thanks so much, team. The product roadmap here. And I think that's a little bit it. Arthur, thank you so much for showing and giving us this update. We definitely like need to have you more. I think this is very useful and give a lot of kind of like sense of comfort to see also like the team is being shipping, is being working, and we are heads on that. Awesome. Thank you so
Always
much.
my pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.
Awesome. Okay, let me get untoggle. So let's do it. So Gwen, I think that was super interesting. A lot of like things are being discussed. I don't know. I think like the roadmap is getting more packed.
Yeah, it's super
and I
packed.
feel also like there is more feature
Yeah,
requirements.
it's super packed. And because you see, like, for example, I saw a feature request in chat. It was like, can we pay gas in fiat now and everything? So this will come at some point, right? So because now we can have like, like Linea is also powering MetaMask card. So we already have like a bunch of link with like, like payment, fiat, USDC, everything. You can have like a bundle of everything. So it's a lot of small features. But when I look at the calendar internally, I'm just like, oh, okay, so there is like one technical announcement per week or something, and then I need to ship like a tutorial. Like I'm like, oh, okay, there is a lot of things happening, right? So yeah, it's a lot. The calendar is super packed. The technical team is really great. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Everything around payment is super exciting, right? Because I think that the first and best use cases we found around blockchain for now, like it's the payment side, right? The payment side is working great. So now there is this scaling part. So having like 23,000 ETH transaction per second, it's huge, right? Because it means you will have like in terms of output, you need to be able to compare. If you want to say, oh, I'm a good infrastructure for payment, you need to be able to compare with like Visa, those companies like Visas, MasterCard, like those big payment company. And with 23,000 transactions per second, I think you can compare with them, right? Especially because Ethereum consume a lot less energy than those companies. So that's very exciting.
Yes. Yeah, I think one thing also that I'm super excited personal is basically the off-ramping, the off-ramping specific with the MetaMask card, right? The fact that you can put some of your USDC on Linea and off-ramping directly. It's
Yeah,
impressive.
I have it on my phone,
Yeah.
right? I use it. Yeah, it's just here, right? I have the MetaMask card just
Nice.
here. So yeah, it's very nice. I never had any problem using it, right? So yeah, it's very nice.
Okay, sounds good. I think let's proceed to our kind of like second main part. So as always, for the people also joining, we are inviting hackathon winners and strong, high caliber like builders around the ecosystem. They are building cool stuff around Linea, and this time we will have a team called Linea Bricks team, and the presentation will be by Arsha, but we will invite all the team. This is a team effort, and it's always great to see what actually like people are cooking. Let me bring everyone on stage and untoggle my screen here. So welcome everyone here. Welcome everyone.
Hello.
It's great to have you guys. You want to quickly introduce yourself, and big honor to actually like have something that you guys build. I hope you had some sleep during the Linea Dev cook-off because it's 1 month long, and pleasure to have you guys here. You want to quickly start, Harsha? Quick intro.
Yeah. So hi guys, this is Harsha. So I was the team lead of Team Linea Bricks. So here we have Preetham and Saran with me. They were also a part of the team. And so I think Preetham will start. Preetham.
Yeah, yeah. Hello everyone. So we present our product Linea Bricks that provides a decentralized real estate platform which provides a peer-to-peer interaction that enhances trust and transparency. It also includes another SDK which takes an Aadhaar card. That is, it is unique for all the Indian citizens to verify if the credentials are valid and there's proper verifications of the original documents before uploading. And we have also included EC certificate, that is encumbrance certificate, which is provided by the government for all the owners who and our next step is automating the EC certification process so that there is no manual effort. We participated in a hackathon conducted by a local government body where we pitched this idea, and the CC certificate feedback was given by them.
So now I'll show you a short demo of how the stuff works. So, so the first step is to get yourself verified using something called an Aadhaar card. It is like unique to everyone in India. You'll have an Aadhaar card, which will basically have a QR. So you have to upload the QR of your Aadhaar card, and it's verified using Anon Aadhaar SDK. So it uses zero knowledge proof, and hence the data doesn't even leave your device, so it's remotely verified. And it actually takes 30 to 50 seconds depending on your device. So actually, like, for the demo purpose, like, we have implemented a skip feature. So yeah, once you get yourself verified, you are into the main page. So basically, what we tried to do was implement fractional ownership. But as of now, you can create your property, and let's say uh, Linea office, something like that. Uh, so we have implemented something called easy certificate verification. So what happens is, uh, when you enter the state of the property, it will have a corresponding website for the verification of the EC certificate. So you have to upload your EC certificate while creating the property. This is basically like the identity verification of your of your land and document. It will have everything starting from the first owner to the current owner. So it's like uh, and it's by the government, so it's like the identity of the piece of land. And once you upload it, you can create your property. So yeah, uh, yeah, the transaction is done, and yeah, it's listed now. So, and once it's listed, the other person like the other users can view it on the listed properties, and they can buy it. So right now, it doesn't have this 3D feature. We are in the process of implementing a 3D view of the property. Like, you can view your property in 3D, the property which you are interested in. So right now it's under implementation, but yeah. So when you find the listed property, you will have its EC certificate listed here, and based on the location of the property, the corresponding link of the government website will be listed, where you can verify your EC certificate. So this as I entered the property state as Tamil Nadu, you have been redirected to the EC certificate verification link of Tamil Nadu government. So you can enter your details, and it will show you the authentic city of the property and the owner's name. So you can verify it using that. Uh, okay, so small problem.
It's it's good to have those problems. Demo gods are not always with us during
Yeah,
live
yeah,
streams.
exactly. Okay, just a second.
Yeah, it's fine. It happens a lot when you're doing. I think I did like maybe last 2 years, like maybe 25, 30 hackathons or something. Always happen at some point, right? So it's very fine. It means it's a real live demo, right? So sometimes people they're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
like a yeah, it's like sometimes people they're doing like a video, and so everything is working well, and then you see it's a video, and you're like, oh, so you're faking it, right? Because maybe you bought the website or something, but.
Yeah, okay, there we go. So now I switched my MetaMask account. Now I'm buying it using another account. So yeah, it's a simple transaction. Like, once you verify the authenticity of the land using the government website, and when 3D is implemented, obviously using that, you can buy that property, and yeah, the ownership is transferred to you. So basically, this is the part implemented till now. As I explained earlier, we are working on the 3D modeling, And we are also working on automating this EC contract like EC certificate verification. Right now, as you saw, it's a bit manual. You have to do it manually by yourself. But yeah, we are working on automating that as well as fractional ownership. Yeah. Now I think Saran has something to say. Saran.
Yeah. So basically, our platform revolutionizes real estate transaction with secure, fast, and seamless authentication using Linea and MetaMask. By replacing traditional logins with wallet-based authentication, we enhance security, conveniences, and user experiences. We also automating easy certificate verification through blockchain, ensuring tamper-proof, instant, and transparent ownership validation, eliminating manual process and reducing fraud. To improve property visualization, we have integrated we are planning to integrate real-time 3D modeling, allowing investors to explore assets interactively, making informed decisions with a 360-degree immersive experience. Most importantly, we are enabling fractional ownership, lowering entry barriers for investors and increasing market liquidity compared to traditional real estate. Now, user can invest in high-value properties with smaller amounts, unlocking new opportunities in market. With these innovation, we are making real estate more accessible, transparent, and efficient than ever before. Sure, that's from our side.
Nice.
So, any
Nice.
questions?
I think like my only question is, how was I mean, first, how was kind of the experience of running like the entire month hackathon? Did you hack like all months, or you started a bit later? And then like my other question is, what was kind of like the full stack? Obviously, you deployed on Linea, but how was kind of like you started with like some kind of like precompiled repo templates? What was the experience, the lesson learned for all the builders out there that want to learn from you?
Okay, so actually, it started out as an ideathon project. So, as Preetham explained, we started out in a government hackathon here locally, and we got a green flag. They're like, it's a good idea. You can use so and so. Like the easy certificate suggestion was given by them. So it started out as an ideathon, and then we like working on it. Then we found a linear dev cook-off. So like I think it was around 2 to 3 weeks before the deadline. So that's when we like concentrated on this. So once we came to know about linear dev cook-off, we like started fully working on this to meet the deadline. And yeah, so that's how this happened. And then about the stack, like we used Next.js for the front end, and it's Solidity based smart contract, obviously. And then we have used Anonadar SDK as well as something called Garden Finance SDK. It's for token swaps. Like again, it's still under implementation. Yeah, so that's about the tech stack.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's super useful. And by the way, I also like agree here. We have some comments from Akil. Why I always start hacking in the end days of the hackathon. I think this is always like happening, especially like pivoting. Sometimes when building, also you find kind of like new idea, new iteration, and you always like find the most value is always when you feel the pressure. So I think I can definitely and I think when
Yeah.
is the same for you,
Yeah,
especially like
pivoting.
prepping on the.
Pivoting is something you do a lot, right? Even when you have like, because when you have a hackathon, sometimes I remember it was East Global Lisbon. I think it was 2 years ago, yeah, like, or maybe last year. So basically, like we had like this ID, like we were like, oh, super nice ID about like I think it was wrap to have like a contract basically who allows you to have a permit, which is like a kind of like a token, specific token. So on the new ERC standard, you have permit. So basically, you don't have to approve, then send the token, right? You only do one transaction now. And I think at that time, we were like, oh, we can upgrade the old token via like a proxy contract to do that. And we were like, oh, it's super nice idea. And we asked a lot of people in the East Global place. And we were like, oh, super nice. No one says it already exists. So it's a good idea. But actually, we asked one guy at some point, and the guy was like, oh, do you know Permit 2 by Uniswap? And so then we figured out that Uniswap 3 months ago, based on like a super niche project, deployed like a proper standard and everything. So we had to think about another idea and code everything before the end of the East Global. And usually East Global is 36 hours. So you don't have a lot of time, right? So we had to re-implement everything. So you have to pivot a lot of time in hackathons. And even if you think about like a startup, like a bigger company, right? Basically, a startup, it's like a hackathon idea, or like idea you have, and then you create a company. You pivot a lot as well. Like it's very rare to have like at the first time, first shot, you have the like 1 billion ID, right? You have to change a lot of things along the way. So yeah,
100%.
I can
Yeah,
relate.
constant pivoting. But I think a lot of like lesson learned too, right? There is a lot of like things happening. Okay, sounds good. We are almost out of time. You want to quickly like give us some insight? What are you guys developing next for this demo? Any specific like feature that you want to highlight for builders out there?
As we explained, yeah, the 3D view is one of it. Then fractional ownership again. Like we want to reduce the entry barrier and improve the liquidity. Like we don't want it to be just one. And then yeah, I think the verification of the land and automation part. These three. That's it. Yeah.
Nice. Sounds good. Awesome. Excited for that. And thanks again for coming to the live stream. I think it's super exciting to actually like see what actually practically like people I think are building. And the Dev Cook-Off is a great way also to pick up like a not just a cool challenge, but also like build further your idea, deploying on Linea, checking how the developer experience is, and just giving feedback. Okay, sounds good. I think like that's a little bit it. I will until you guys. Thank you so much again for showing up. And we are good to go. I think we will send also some links. If you have your repo link that you think is you want to share with the community, happy to send this over later. So thank you so much, guys, for joining.
Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot, guys.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's do it. So I think we're good to go. We are in our last part. I'm super excited actually to hear this part on the TachyonX, everything on
Yeah.
Linea builders. So I will bring Irina on stage. Irina, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you, and also like excited to hear about more session TachyonX and for Linea builders. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Excellent.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm privileged to be here. It's really incredible and very inspiring to see everything that's getting built and shipped in real time. Maybe I'll just give a second and just sort of tell you who I am. I'm a lawyer by background. I'm
Yes, please.
a corporate lawyer, so I spent some time scaling startups. I spent a little bit of time at the SEC, but I leapt fully into crypto about 8 years ago. And I was most recently in a corporate sort of counsel role as Gitcoin's general counsel before I co-founded Bittlebox, which is a developer engagement platform for builders. So I am really here and mission driven to advance and support builders. And I think from a legal perspective, from a regulatory perspective, supporting compelling use cases and incubating a lot of really impactful work is the most important thing. Like in my mind, it's the most important thing. So I am really privileged to get to support that to date on, a smaller scale or maybe an even earlier scale on hackathons, which, as you know, incent and build some of the most exciting stuff, but you don't always see it advance to fruition. And so, yeah, a little bit about Tachyon. And so what brought me to Tachyon, I was a mentor there for a while, and it is really the first choice for builders in Web3. It's one of the OG, it's the consensus accelerator that's launched since 2018. And so the name was actually a fun fact inspired by the theoretical tachyon particle that's always moving faster than light. So the idea is how quickly can we accelerate and propel startups from concept to MVP, really. And that program has since been refined to be as customized as possible, which is why we're so delighted to be able to partner with Linea, because I think this is really the exciting piece for builders, getting to have bespoke sort of customized access to you, to all of the talent and all of the resources that are available, especially as you're advancing, so much on throughput, on scalability. That's the kind of stuff that's really going to birth, I think, the next gen of compelling use cases.
And I think like builders need this kind of like lower funnel where they can actually like continuously like build and be supported by the ecosystem. I think this is something that the Tachyon is doing marvelously.
Yeah, 100%. I might actually go ahead and share if it's I hate to prompt you. Oh, thank you. So a little bit about the accelerator itself. It is for very early stage startups. So a lot of the projects that I've seen, come out of the hackathons are more than welcome to apply. We'd love for you to consider. For the 2025 cohort, we're focused on projects building at the intersection of AI and crypto, especially keen on those seeking to leverage Linea, because I do think, for some of the things that we mentioned, the unique advantages that Linea has, from high throughput, fast finality, ultra low fees, data compression, when you're really building on the frontier, those are, I think, the mission critical pieces to be able to scale something, especially as you have to use a lot of compute. So the sort of architecture of it is, you can look forward to a $250,000 investment. Fortunately, admissions are rolling, but we do encourage people to apply sooner rather than later, and I'll include details at the end. But to the extent that folks are, keen on applying, you should do so probably before May 31, because that will sort of fast track into end of year conference demo day accessibility. There will be, as I said, dedicated technical support for projects building on Linea. I think this is really the mission critical piece. I think we want to see developers have their hands on access and talent as quickly as possible. And so the idea is each project is going to be vetted for what their unique pain points are, like whether it's go to market, whether it's accessibility to Linea, and really propel them forward from there. There will be one-on-one, weekly dedicated meetings with mentors and advisors. And Tachyon itself is actually launching a token whereby we are really from the ground up developing a decentralized sort of investment ecosystem. And so we really want to see everyone contributing to the startup success, incented and rewarded for that. So there's going to be, it's really a bootstrapped effort that really invites everyone's contribution, because it is all really valuable at the end of the day. And if you want to just go on to the next slide, it's just a little bit about some of our alumni. Like I said, Tachyon itself has been around since 2018. These are some of the names, some that might resonate with people. Some even more recent ones, like Bello, come to mind. But there's been a lot of cohorts in the making, and they're definitely at different stages of growth nowadays. And we'd love to sort of propel many, many more of those on Linea specifically. And a little bit more on the next slide will probably give us some color on some ideas. So yeah, at a high level, I think it's, of course, AI is here, right? And I think in that regard, crypto's contribution is the most mission critical. It's the most important, or more urgent than ever, right? If you think about countering AI monopolies or sort of mediating the regulatory pressure that we've seen governments scrutinizing centralized AI for privacy or bias issues. And I think that, combined with the fact that we're maybe industry-wide, but probably especially as it relates to Linea, at a point of maturity, is this fulcrum, point where I think it's time to hit the pedal. So yeah, again, like I said, some of the unique advantages to Linea, I think, are ideally suited for some of these ideas, but we'd love to see projects leveraging Linea to explore sovereign ID, so privacy preserving reputation networks, ZK verification systems, machine-to-machine commerce. Of course, you've seen this probably across the space, but again, given very, very fast finality and high throughput, I think Linea is ideally suited to host really robust marketplaces for machine-to-machine commerce, so agent-based market making or autonomous treasury and resource management. These are just some ideas. To the extent folks want to or are exploring decentralized data infra, data marketplaces, training data sets, the trustworthiness of the data, right, is like mission critical. So whatever we can do to advance good data and have models training on the right data is really, really important. Folks sort of curious on exploring intent-based systems, so perhaps AI agents for autonomous economic activity or agent coordination or orchestration protocols. These are some ideas to get folks thinking about what they're building, to the extent that they're not already. But if you are building across this space, we would love for you to check us out. So feel free to shoot over to the next slide. And yeah, just check out tachyon.xyz. The application is really readily available there. And we'd love to see you building on Linea and sort of building at the frontier of crypto and AI.
This is super exciting. And I think you have the link to actually like apply
Yeah, this one,
on the
yeah.
last slide. Yes.
Yeah, so it's just
This is the one.
Should be a very clear apply now. You know, if any questions, anything at all, feel free to DM me, follow me on Twitter. But yeah, we'd really love to sort of create a long-term greedy runway for projects that are mission driven and really want to accelerate compelling use cases on Linea on the frontier.
Irina, a quick question. We have a couple of like questions also from the chat on, for example, on approach involved with identities. I think identity is definitely like one of the category that you mentioned before, right? I think there is a lot of good narrative that actually people. What is your one of your favorite that you didn't see enough that you wish like people actually like will submit more?
Oh, great question. That I wish people would submit more of. I guess I'm just going by the identity piece because it's probably most recent to mind given that comment, but it's obviously core, like vital for, you know, in a world where we have more agents than we have people transacting, you know, validating and verifying useful behavior, and having it roll up to, you know, human activity is going to be important to have robust ecosystems.
We had another question on Akil, project with ZK.
100%, yeah. I mean, that's part of, you know, the ZK tech underneath Linea, right? I think makes it extremely suitable for crypto and AI.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we saw that, Gwen, in some hackathons that people actually building ZK.
Yeah, ZK is a lot. And now you have like, you know, you have two different stacks. You have like the ZK TLS, ZK DLS. You have a bunch of new constraint model around Noir and what some of the team are doing. So it's very interesting to see where the ZK is going. There is a bunch. It's like huge tech, huge paper. You need to read like 600 pages of arithmetization and mathematics. But it's very interesting to check. For incubators, I think you're also judging. So for builders to know, you're also judging a lot like the business idea around what you see, right? Because sometimes builders, they read like a super cool piece of technology, but they don't think about like, oh, I can't sell that, right? So I think it's also important for Tachyon, right?
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. But one of the big advantages I think of partnering with a Tachyon and a Linea, right, is the sort of Lindy effect and longevity behind building very large scale, scalable projects. So it's really inspiring to see what comes out of hackathons, but we really want to empower you to really go all the way to really, I mean, I think to compete with the centralized AI models of the world and those solutions, you really need to get to bear and rely on all of the mentor network. And that's really the strength behind Tachyon is many mentors over many cohorts, especially the broader consensus ecosystem and access to those folks that have been thinking about these problems for a very long time.
Yes. And I think also the fact that you have constant support from different type of teams, not just there in the of Linea, you have the MetaMask card on the other side. There is a lot of like, that's why I really enjoyed also the previous cohort on the Tachyon side, because you have an access of an ecosystem that is huge and different type of also like different teams. I think that's
that is the idea. That's what we're trying to do. And I think you guys do it just as well.
Nice. So in terms of like,
yeah. Thank you.
Yes, we are. But I think with Tachyon happening, I think a lot of like, you know, we can definitely like push both the Linea Dev Cook-Off, but also like the bigger, lower funnel, like the not just like the company, but the startup that actually like want to grow faster and better, like, and having this support lower in the funnel. I think that's perfect. And Irina, like, so in terms of like confirming like the dates and the milestones. So until when is the application open? For people.
It is open currently and it is rolling. So it is technically going to continue to be open just beyond May 31. But we'd love for applications, to the extent that you're really serious about coming to demo day, for them to come in before May 31. So it's technically a rolling process. Perfect. Because what we really want to do is provide bespoke, customized access and a plan for sort of go-to-market and scaling for each cohort. So, or for each applicant, really, that's accepted. And so that's really the genesis behind the rolling idea. But, you know, we'd love for folks to apply much more sooner rather than later.
Nice. And I think like we encourage like, you know, different type of also like founders, developer, builders. I think like even vibe coders, like I was reading that Y incubator, the last cohort, as the one of the majority like line of code that were basically AI generated, and this is impressive. So every type of founder is probably welcome.
100%. Everyone's welcome. Yeah. Especially those building.
Nice. Awesome. Sounds good. Go for it.
Those
Especially
building.
vibe coders. Nice. Sounds good. Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much, Arena, for also like I wish like we also like have a part two when we actually have these kind of like new cohorts. Also like bring and do some kind of like Tachyon highlights in our future like Linea development
100%.
week calls. I think that would be super useful for everyone.
Yeah, it would be very, very nice to have like some founders, but like trained founders who had like I don't know, even like like 1 million size company or like 500K company means like you already have maybe some employees stuff, everything. It's a lot. It's a whole different story than just building something in your hackathon stuff. So
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I agree.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, Arena, and thanks for sharing. We will also share this link in the chat and in the newsletter next. And yeah, looking forward to see the cohort. And please, everyone listening, you have another, I don't know, different like couple of like end of the month kind of days to apply, and make sure you're reaching out probably to Arena also, like if you have any further questions. Awesome. Thank you so much. Awesome.
So
Okay, so we are almost on
yeah.
time. A lot of like things are happening. Gwen, what was your favorite kind of like
Yeah,
part
the
here?
Tachyon, I'm super excited to see like a project as always. So because it will be like a different for the DevRel team, like from DevRel perspective, it's a different type of project that just come from hackathons. Like you have a project out of hackathons, it's like around the proof of concept, right? But when you're going to an incubator, usually you can have every type of project. I mean, everyone is very free and very welcome to apply. But usually it's more around like kind of like an MVP, but sometimes you only have a proof of concept, but you also have the business ID on the background, right? Which is very interesting, right? Because it forces you to think about like, okay, how can I sell it, or is it a public good? If it's a public good, maybe it's a public good for the entire ecosystem, right? And there is also some way to finance that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's different type of project.
That.
Yeah, we see that. There is, for example, right now there is this ZK-Nox stuff. So it's a quantum, post-quantum cryptography. It's like it's actually got a grant by Ethereum Foundation. So it's very important for Ethereum and like all blockchain to be quantum resistant, right? And there is some interesting stuff like this. So I'm always super excited to see that.
Especially now with the rise of kind of like the vibe coders and stuff, like we see more and more emphasis also on the distribution and the kind of like the lower funnel distribution, kind of like the way to users, right? I think that's very important. I agree, but I also thought was super interesting also what Arthur brought on the table, bringing also clarity on very specific like features. And I mean the gas fee especially is something that I'm excited about, and the entire road to decentralization, right? I think all the debate around layer 2-bit, different types, I think this is something needed, and we don't need to kind of lose the higher picture, and at the same time actually pushing this. So that's very exciting, but obviously also bringing hackathon winners and strong builders around the ecosystem to show what they're building. I think it's always a good opportunity for everybody who's listening here. Also, if you're building cool stuff, you deploy on Linea, you want to kind of show this to the world. We are here to listen, and I think people want to hear more and more of those stories. I think we're good. We have, I think, one or two couple of slides to recap. I think one of the most important parts here as a kind of a recap, and we're closing up soon, is the Linea developer cook-off happening this month. Actually, we have another 5-6 days to submit. What is all about, Gwen, this Linea dev cook-off? I think the people understand by now, but what is all about this month?
So this month it was with eFrog, right? So we had eFrog's community. So if you can build something around it, it's super nice. There is also, it was a lot around payment and meme coins as well. So that was the most narrative. So I gave a bunch of example of what you can build. If you check the website, you will see there is a bunch of example and also how we will judge for the prizes and everything. So feel free to submit. I think there is a few projects submitted already. I wish we will have a lot more. As always, I think last time we got quite a few projects, interesting projects. So join the Linea Dev Cook-Off. Yeah,
verticals
it's a very good starting point. So then for us, then if you join, then we will know you, so we can interact with each other. You can speak, because we're here to support you, right? So if you already did a Linea Dev
Yes.
Cook-Off and then you're like, oh, I have another project or something, what you think and everything is a lot better for us, because we saw you did like something in the Linea Dev Cook-Off when you're doing another project. So it means you're a very serious builder, right? So yeah.
Exactly. Yes, and I think the best part is that this is not just a 48 hours kind of like hackathon that you need to sprint. You can also like come to the Dev Cook-Off like you're already kind of like building something interesting and you're deploying on Linea, right? So it's not like a specific fresh code hackathon. So also like if you're building something super interesting, you want to kind of extend the functionality and deploying on Linea, it's something that we definitely encouraging a lot.
Yeah.
So extra feature, extra, and having also like a bit like long term around the months, it give you also the opportunity to like to team up, take your time, even pivot more, what we just discussed before. There is a lot of like things that give you also like an edge there, and also the fact that it's not just an RL hackathon. You have also the opportunity, if you're not able to get in those some like IRL hackathons and events, like the Dev Cook-Off is always happening. We are trying to make it every month with something different cool partners. I think this month having the eFrancs team is just very amazing. These guys have been supporting us since a long time, and we definitely want to kind of like double down on different things, right? I think we're planning to do also like a specific like MetaMask card hackathon. We're planning to get more and more kind of like partners involved, payment, meme coin, you name it, and we're super excited for that.
Yeah, super exciting times to come. So very nice.
Times to cook.
Yeah, times to cook. Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. I think we're at time. Thanks so much also for the engaging comments. Feel free to, like, our doors are always open. Feel free to reach out, and make sure also, like, if you have any comments, addresses, we are always our Linea Discord. And we also like for proposals, we are the Linea forum where we also like pushing proposals from the communities, and also like we're leaning on you guys. If you want to build something, if you're building something interesting, you want to show it to the ecosystem, you can DM us all the time. The Devrel team, as always, like their DM opens and come and present to those calls. Awesome. Thank you so much, Gwen, for hosting, and thanks everyone also in the background actually like making this happen. There is a huge work coordinating and actually pushing and organizing all this, and that's definitely not just our work here.
Thanks
Awesome.
a lot,
Thanks so much,
everyone.
everyone.